when people say, hey, don't interfere in nature. Don't do bad things. Don't do things that harm wildlife or wildlife habitat. And in the same stroke of nature and the same stroke of logic that they use to justify staying out of nature, they do the exact opposite and advocate to interfere with nature. But only when it suits them. When it suits you and your made up, emotionally filled, pseudo-logical definition of helping versus hurting. And this is something I have a huge fucking problem with. Okay, so where to start debunking your hypocritical, emotional, pseudo-logical bullshit? Perhaps I'll start with the enlightening you of what it even fucking means to be part of nature and interfere with nature. We simply, by existing, interfere with nature. Because we are part of it. We are this nature you say do not harm. We are this nature you say help. We are this nature you say do not interfere with. We are biological fucking animals with a fucking habitat. But we are the apex. We are genetically predispositioned to rise to the top and make every other animal our bitch. Because they're just inferior. Intellectually. Perhaps not physically or instinctually, but we have this amazing ability that no other animal has as much as our own human species. And that is the ability of logical thinking. This amazing ability we are born having no understanding of, but born with the components to learn. And then we go and riddle it with our own antithetically illogical nature. Our emotions. We take this logical thing that we learn and we subcategorize it. We devise it into two separate categorical fucking logics. Into our pure logic, our statistical, factual, actual fucking logic, and our fucking emotional feel-goody-goody, I think this way, therefore my emotions must be right. And that's not logic. We, simply by existing, will both build and destroy nature. And if you think you're exception, well, I've got news for you, honey. You're not. You're not the fucking exception. Everything we have in civilization is the result of how we naturally progressed. It is built by animals, from animals, using animal product, destroying animal environment for other animals. We aren't destroying nature. We are simply shaping it because we are nature, dumbass. We are animals. And we're the only animals who have the fucking capacity to think. And therefore, we go full on wild with it. But we can't make the distinction between what we feel and what we think. So we start with this thing that is immediately antithetical to being logical. We decide how we feel about something instinctually, and we think, therefore, I feel I must be fucking right. And we search for logical, pseudo-logical, any sort of fucking associated logic to back up what we feel. And therefore, it must be right. And it's not. We are nature as much as dogs or cats or fucking mitochondria. I'll admit it's a weird comparison. But the only ones we guilt trip, even though by our own admission, by the overwhelming majority of people, other animals completely understand empathy and are completely capable of understanding the wrong they're doing when they kill and they hurt needlessly for fun. And you may make the excuse, well, they're doing it because of nature. Yeah. But then when we, us humans, do it, and we follow our genetic fucking programming, we're evil. We're destroying nature even though we are fucking part of nature. And yet, I've never seen a fucking dog or fucking dolphins or fucking wolves or big cats or small cats or tons of other fucking animals who kill literally just for fun be guilt tripped, even though by our own admission they have empathy and they understand the evil they are committing by killing needlessly for their own enjoyment. Empathy is what tells us right from wrong. Logic has no component in empathy. We at least have excuses. We understand why we feel the way we do because we can think about it. Animals, when they feel bad about what they've done, they simply ignore it and suppress it because it's nature. But when we do it, when we allow our fight or flight instincts, we are evil. And that's not right. That is a double standard, sweetheart. We are the only animals that use our own logic to oppress only ourselves. We feel we are hurting other animals, and we realize they are genetically and intellectually inferior, and therefore we must be the oppressors. Because every other animal who rises to the top is simply playing a part in nature. But us, no, we are not. Because we over-existentialize with our emotions. And then we start to think, we can't be part of nature. We're too different than all the other animals. We're not. The only thing that allows us to do all of this, create all of this, is something that we learn after we are born. That comes from non-emotion. Something that we, by the same logic, ruin. We ruin our logic by riddling it with our feelings. This is how we end up with logical fallacies. Because we feel and we search for things that justify what we feel. We don't look at the hard evidence because we feel it's wrong. We are wrong. And we're openly admit it. We openly admit that we squander our gift with riddling it with antithetical emotions that blind us to this gift that allows us to rise to the top for thousands of hundreds of thousands of years. And we hold ourselves not to the standards we hold all animals that feel in the same way we do. We hold ourselves to hypocritical standards that impedes not only our genetic programming of fight or flight, of doing what is naturally progressive, of killing just as a cat or a fucking dog or any other animal would. And I've got news for you, sweetheart. Got news for you, honey. Animals kill, whether or not they are considered herbivores or not. The main reason, you don't see it often in nature is because the animals who are not developed enough to catch other animals just simply can't. But they do. They kill all the time. And animals like cats, big cats, dogs, wolves, and dolphins, these kill for fun. These kill for their own enjoyment. Whether it be frogs, whether it be squirrels, mice, deer, goats, all of these animals kill other animals when given the chance, among countless others. And we just think, you know what? Other animals don't kill other animals. We should be like them. But they do. We do not hold ourselves. And I don't, not 100% sure how to fucking explain that logic isn't the reason why we abandon nature. It's our feelings. It's our feelings that manipulate logic. Not logic itself. It's us feeling something and then going out and searching for something that justifies, even though it's completely illogical, to go against our nature and not interfere with nature, which literally every single thing we do does. There are countless things we do every day that directly impacts nature in a negative way. But it's up to everybody else to do. It's up to everybody else to go against our natural instincts. Not you, sweetheart. No. You can just sit there in your middle class suburbs, judging everybody around you, judging the human race, because you've done a few small things to help nature that have almost no impact at all. Can cut out all meat. Doesn't matter. All other animals are still out there killing all other animals, doing the exact same thing you're against, feeling just as much empathy for those animals that they kill needlessly as we do, as you do. They do not care. They are instinctually driven. They do not give a shit about your or my feelings or the animals they kill. They suppress it because that is nature. When you feel something, but you have to survive to do it. And even often, because animals lack this logical thinking, they kill for fun anyways. Because they don't have this ability to stop themselves. Because they are inherently more evil than we humans are. Because they have no logical conscience. Only a moral one, which they consistently ignore. But we're the evil ones. We're the evil ones for caring. And sometimes, not always, I will admit, many people are no different than those animals who are evil and kill needlessly for no other reason than it's fun to them. It gives them a chemical brain rush. Because that's what animals do. I will admit, some of us humans are that evil as all the other animals on the planet that kill for no other reason than enjoyment. But we are the ones that are guilt-tripped, because we should know better than to do something we are biologically programmed to do. Because we should adhere to what you feel is right, even though you are denying all of nature itself. You fucking hypocrite. Yes, logic allows us to define nature. But when you, people such as yourselves, want us to deny nature 100% of the time, you are inviting nothing but failure. You cannot deny a biological being its entire nature just because you feel it's wrong. Just because you want to feel better. Just because you cannot handle that it's just a part of nature to kill and feel and suppress that feeling in order to survive. But I bet you'll never denounce any other animal either. All the animals that we comfort and allow to live in our houses. Because they remind us of the fucking nature we have forsaken. We allow them to kill and pass it off as it's nature, it's instinctual. We allow them, even though by our own admission, they feel empathy for the animals they kill because it's natural, even though they have no need to do it. They have no more need than we do to kill an animal. Because they are taken and cared for and biologically bred to not need to. And we provide everything for them. They don't need their instincts as much as we do. But if they need their instincts, then we must as well. Domesticating an animal does not change its nature. It is still going to do what it's biologically programmed to do. Humans are no different. Because fight or flight comes before you think, is this wrong? You feel whether something is wrong or right or absolutely necessary before you think it is. You feel you need to run from a situation or kill something for survival before you think why. Emotions are what we have to suppress. Our actual instincts are what we have to suppress in order to be logical creatures. But we taint it by justifying our emotions before we think. Before we justify what we feel by what we think. When it should be the other way around. We should think, am I being biased here? Are my emotions blinding me to the truth? Maybe I'm just another animal with the ability to sometimes turn off my biological program in order to do something and make a difference. But I would argue that the animals, the ones without the logical thinking, the ones who blindly follow their program, the ones who kill for simple enjoyment, are the evil ones, are the ones interfering with nature, killing needlessly. At least we don't always choose when it's convenient for us to forsake what we feel for what we desire, as other animals do. They kill needlessly, and then we accept them into our house, and we allow them and encourage them to kill because we miss what we cannot justify doing in a society that guilt trips us with its own feelings backed up by pseudo-logic. We are the only animals disallowed from being animals like people from people like you. People who deny your nature. People who will never hold another animal up to the same standards as the animals who've done way more good in the world than any other animal in recorded history. We help and we hurt. And it's not for you to decide who is allowed to do what. You may judge all you like, but at the end of the day, you're only denying your nature. And if you're alright with that, then that's up to you. But you don't get to dictate for the rest of us. We will pick and we will choose when it is appropriate to abandon our nature for our logical thinking, and vice versa. And we will never allow you to dictate how we're supposed to feel, or how we're supposed to think, or how we're supposed to act. Because that is antithetical to nature itself. Thanks for watching. It's a bit of a rant. 20 minutes? Yeah, more than a bit of a rant. Shit.